The Power of Words. Maya's Journey to English Mastery Introduction. Let me tell you about Maya. A spirited teenager with a burning desire to explore the world and connect with people from every corner of the globe. There was just one thing standing between her and her dreams: mastering English. This is her story, a journey of determination, discovery, and the transformative power of consistent effort. But before we dive into Maya's adventure, let's talk about some proven techniques that will help you remember English vocabulary more effectively. Essential techniques for building your vocabulary. Learning new words doesn't have to feel overwhelming. Here are some practical methods that actually work. First, harness the power of mental pictures. When you encounter an unfamiliar word, paint a scene in your mind. Let's say you're learning the word lighthouse. Picture yourself standing on rocky cliffs, watching a tall beacon cutting through the fog with its sweeping light. If you're artistic, grab a pencil and sketch it out. This visual connection creates a lasting memory. Second, build memory bridges. Connect new words to things you already know. For example, to remember compassionate, which means caring and empathetic, imagine a compass that points toward people who need help. Or create shortcuts. To recall the 5 main oceans, remember Past Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Southern, and Arctic. Third, make practice your daily ritual. Dedicate just 10 minutes each morning to reviewing words. Use cards with the word on one side and its meaning on the other. Flip through them while having your coffee or riding the bus. This repetition rewires your brain. Fourth, let words live in sentences. Don't just memorize definitions, use your new vocabulary in real context. Write a diary entry, craft a short tale, or describe your day using these words. When language becomes active rather than passive, it sticks. Finally, surround yourself with English. Read novels that transport you, watch films that move you, listen to podcasts that fascinate you. Underline words that catch your attention, look them up. Use them. The more you immerse yourself, the more natural the language becomes. Now, let's see how Maya applied these principles on her remarkable journey. Chapter 1, The First Step Week. 1. A dream takes root. It was a crisp autumn morning when Maya entered her new classroom at Riverside Academy. Butterflies danced in her stomach as she took her seat. She'd always struggled with English words, seemed to slip away just when she needed them most, but today felt different. Today she was meeting Professor Davis, and something told her life was about to change. Professor Davis had kind eyes and an encouraging presence. "Welcome, Maya," she said warmly. "I understand you have big dreams of traveling the world." Maya's face lit up. "Yes. I want to understand people everywhere, share stories, make real connections. But English feels like trying to catch water with my hands. It just slips away." Professor Davis smiled knowingly. "Learning a language is like planting a garden. It requires patience, daily care, and trust in the process. But when things start blooming, the beauty is extraordinary." She handed Maya a leather-bound journal. "This is your vocabulary companion. Each day, choose 5 new words. Write them down, build sentences around them, and speak them aloud. The magic happens through repetition." Maya opened the journal, and her pen moved across the first page. "Ambition, exploration, determination, resilience, transform," she whispered. Each word feeling their weight and possibility. Week 2. Stories become teachers. The following week, Professor Davis introduced Maya to something unexpected: the art of learning through narrative. "Stories are memory's best friend," she explained. "When you read, you're not just seeing words, you're experiencing emotions, walking through scenes, living parallel lives. This emotional connection makes vocabulary unforgettable." Maya started with a tale about a young explorer navigating unknown territories. As she read, she highlighted unfamiliar words, but This time she didn't just memorize them, she felt them. The word treacherous wasn't just a definition. It was the icy mountain pass the explorer barely survived. Triumph became the moment of reaching the summit. Arms raised to the sky, she discovered she wasn't just learning English, she was living adventures through it. Professor Davis taught her another technique, word visualization. When Maya learned cascade, she pictured water tumbling down moss-covered rocks, sparkling in sunlight. For labyrinth, she imagined walking through a hedge maze, turning corners, feeling both lost and excited. These mental movies made forgetting nearly impossible. Chapter 2. Pushing Through Challenges, Week 7. Embracing Multiple Paths, Professor. Davis encouraged Maya to experience English in every form possible. Read poetry, watch documentaries, listen to different accents, chat with speakers from various countries. Each interaction adds a new dimension to your understanding. Maya dove in headfirst. She watched her beloved films with English audio, first reading subtitles, then challenging herself without them. She discovered music artists whose lyrics told stories, memorizing verses and singing along. She even started a language exchange with international students at her school, nervously at first, then with growing confidence. What amazed her most was how different sources taught her different things. Books gave her formal structure. Movies taught her casual conversation. Songs showed her emotion and rhythm. Each medium was a teacher with unique lessons. Week 15. The difficult middle, then came the wall. Every learner hits it. Maya felt stuck. New words weren't sticking anymore. She'd practice and practice, only to forget them the next day. Frustration crept in like fog. Professor Davis noticed Maya's slumping shoulders and quiet demeanor. "You've reached what we call the plateau," she said gently. "It feels like you're not improving, but actually, your brain is consolidating everything you've learned. It's reorganizing, making room for the next level. This is when most people quit, but this is exactly when you need to keep going." She introduced Maya to memory tricks, creative associations that made words stick. To remember generous, Maya imagined a giant named Jerry who shared everything. For obstacle, she pictured an obstacle course she once ran. Connecting the word to a vivid physical memory. Maya also started creating study cards, reviewing them during breakfast, on the bus, before bed. She made it a game. How many can I remember? Can I beat yesterday's score? Slowly, the fog lifted. Progress returned. Week 30. Setting the target 1 month in, Maya could see real change. Conversations flowed more easily. Words came to her naturally. She felt ready for more. "Maya, I think you're ready for a challenge," Professor Davis announced. 3 months from now, you'll present a talk to the entire class. 7 minutes. Any topic you choose. Entirely in English. Maya's heart raced. Terror and excitement battled inside her, but she nodded. "I'll do it." She began preparing immediately, writing her script, practicing daily, recording herself and listening back, adjusting her pace and pronunciation. Professor Davis and her friends gave feedback. Each practice session made her stronger. Breaking big goals into smaller steps, that was the secret. First, write the outline, then complete the draft. Next, practice alone. Then perform for one friend. Then 2. Each small victory built toward the larger one. Week 45. The power of rewards. Celebration is part of learning, Professor Davis reminded her class. When you hit a target, acknowledge it. Treat yourself. Your brain needs to associate hard work with positive outcomes. Maya took this to heart. After mastering 50 new words, she bought herself that novel she'd been eyeing. After completing her speech draft, she enjoyed her favorite dessert with friends. These small celebrations kept her motivated, turning the learning process from a chore into an adventure she looked forward to. Week 60. Consistency pays off. Something remarkable happened around the 2-month mark. Maya noticed English was becoming automatic. She didn't have to search for words anymore, they simply appeared. Conversations felt natural rather than forced. Your daily practice is paying dividends, Professor Davis told her. Consistency trumps intensity every time. 10 minutes every single day beats 3 hours once a week. You've proven that. Maya had built a routine. Morning vocabulary review, lunch conversations in English, evening reading, and weekend movie sessions. It had become part of her life, as natural as breathing. Chapter 3. The Transformation Week 90. The big moment, the day arrived. Maya stood before her classmates, hands trembling slightly, breath shallow. Professor Davis gave her an encouraging smile. Maya closed her eyes for a moment, centered herself, and began. Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to share something personal, my journey from being afraid of English to standing here, speaking to you with confidence. As she spoke, something magical happened. The words flowed like a river finding its course. She forgot about being nervous. She simply shared her story, the struggles, the breakthroughs, the moments of doubt, and the victories. When she finished, the room erupted in applause. Her classmates stood. Professor Davis had tears in her eyes. You didn't just learn English, Professor Davis said afterward. You found your voice. Week 120, Finding Community. Maya's journey didn't end with that speech. She joined a literature circle where students discussed novels and shared interpretations. Hearing different perspectives deepened her understanding. She learned that language wasn't just about vocabulary and grammar, it was about culture, emotion, and human connection. These discussions challenged her to think critically and express complex ideas. She discovered nuances she'd never noticed before, how a single word's meaning could shift depending on context. Tone and intention. Week 150. Discovering creative expression writing became Maya's new passion. She started composing short pieces, fiction, personal essays, even poetry. She entered a school writing contest with a story about a girl who learned to fly, and won first place. Writing taught her things speaking couldn't. It forced her to consider word choice carefully, to build sentences with intention, to create rhythm and flow. Her understanding of grammar deepened not through memorization, but through practical application. Professor Davis displayed Maya's winning story in the classroom, inspiring other students. Week 180. Total immersion. That summer, Maya attended an intensive English camp in the mountains. For 2 weeks, she lived, breathed, and dreamed in English. Morning workshops focused on skills. Afternoons involved games and activities. Evenings featured cultural exchanges with campers from 12 different countries. She made friends from Japan, Brazil, Egypt, and Germany, all united by their journey to master English. They practiced together, made mistakes together, laughed together. In that supportive environment, Maya's fluency soared. The experience taught her that immersion accelerates learning like nothing else. When English becomes necessary for daily life, not just a classroom exercise, the brain adapts remarkably fast. Week 210. Testing reality. The ultimate test came when Maya's family traveled to Australia. For the first time, she navigated an English-speaking country independently. She ordered meals, asked for directions, struck up conversations with locals, and even helped her parents communicate. One afternoon, sitting in a Sydney cafe, a local woman complimented her English. You must have studied here for years, she said. Actually, I've been learning for 7 months, Maya replied with pride. The woman looked amazed. That's incredible. You should be very proud. That moment crystallized everything. Her hard work had real-world results. She wasn't just learning vocabulary, she was building bridges between herself and the world. Week 240. Sharpening critical thinking. Back home, Maya joined the Debate Society. This pushed her into new territory, thinking on her feet, constructing logical arguments, responding to challenges in real time. Debate taught her precision. Every word mattered. Vague language weakened arguments. Specific vocabulary strengthened them. She learned to listen actively, process quickly, and articulate clearly under pressure. Through regional competitions, she gained confidence she never imagined possible. The shy girl who once trembled at speaking English now commanded attention in front of audiences. Week 270. Passing the torch, Maya began volunteering as a tutor for younger students just beginning their English journey. She shared her story, her techniques, and most importantly, her belief that anyone could do this. The secret, she told them, isn't having a special talent. It's showing up every day, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard, teaching reinforced her own knowledge. Explaining concepts to others deepened her understanding. She saw herself in their struggles and celebrated their victories as if they were her own. The essential truth about mistakes, one lesson Professor Davis emphasized throughout Maya's journey. Mistakes are not failures, they're feedback. Every error is a teacher in disguise, she told her students. When you say something incorrectly, you've just discovered exactly what you need to practice. That's not a setback, that's progress. Maya embraced this philosophy completely. When she mispronounced a word, she laughed, corrected herself, and practiced it 5 more times. When she used the wrong tense, she figured out why and moved forward. She stopped being embarrassed and started being curious. This shift in mindset was transformative. Fear of mistakes had paralyzed her before. Now, mistakes became stepping stones. Nobody masters a language perfectly, not even native speakers. What matters is communication, connection, and continuous improvement. Fluency isn't about perfection. It's about confidence and clarity. Maya learned to celebrate small wins, understanding a joke in English, dreaming in her new language automatically, thinking in English rather than translating in her head. These seemingly minor milestones were actually major victories. She visualized her future, constantly confidently presenting at international conferences, making friends across continents, reading untranslated literature, understanding films without subtitles. This vision pulled her forward on difficult days. The complete circle 2 years after beginning her journey. Maya stood at graduation, delivering the commencement speech in English to 500 people. She spoke about the power of persistence, the gift of mistakes, and the incredible doors that open when you commit to growth. Professor Davis sat in the front row, beaming with pride. After the ceremony, a young student approached Maya shyly. "I want to learn English," she said, "but I'm scared. I'm not good at languages." Maya smiled, the same warm smile Professor Davis had given her that first day. "I wasn't either," she said. "But let me tell you a secret. You don't need to be naturally talented. You just need to be willing to try, to practice, and to keep going even when it feels impossible. If I could do it, I promise you can too." She handed the girl a journal leather bound, just like the one Professor Davis had given her. "Start here. 5 words a day. That's all it takes to begin. Your journey begins now. Language learning isn't a sprint. It's a marathon with countless small steps. Some days you'll leap forward. Other days you'll stumble. Both are part of the process. The strategies Maya used work because they're based on how our brains actually learn. Through repetition, emotional connection, multiple exposures, practical application, and consistent effort over time. Your dedication will be tested. There will be moments when nothing seems to stick, when you feel like you're forgetting more than you're learning, when giving up seems easier than continuing. Those moments are when your real growth happens. Keep your goals visible. Stay positive and patient with yourself. Remember that every single word you learn, every sentence you construct, Every conversation you have brings you closer to fluency. You are capable. You are resilient. Your potential is limitless. The question isn't whether you can master English, it's whether you're willing to commit to the journey. Maya did it. Thousands of others have done it. Now it's your turn to pick up your journal. Write your first 5 words. Take that first step. Your adventure begins today.